And so, as if things couldn't get any worse for Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, things are about to get much worse because someone's dug up photos of his yearbook after his abortion comments, and it turns out that right on his med school yearbook is a picture of him, followed juxtaposed immediately by a picture of someone in full-on blackface and a KKK hood standing next to each other. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this. First, I want to give my opinion of this. My opinion is, I don't care at all. I don't care if he's one of the people in that picture. It was probably a prank. I would need to see the context. If he was acting in a way that was offensive to or racist towards minorities or black people, then that's something that's important. But if he dressed up as a joke, so what? He's like a 21-year-old engaged in jokes. People did this. People dressed in offensive things. Remember Prince Harry dressed up as a Nazi before? It's not the end of the world. Bad judgment, sure, but him today, decades later, doesn't identify with a joke maybe he was engaged in. It might not even be him. It might have just been that the yearbook put someone's picture there. If that's the case, why should he be held accountable for that? Just because other people at his school might have had a joke in bad taste, things like that. I don't know. I don't really care. It's sad that we live in this world where people are going back to yearbooks to try to make judgments based on people. I despise what he said in his abortion comments. Even his clarifications of the remarks seem to be very troubling, as I've done in both my live stream and in other videos I did on the abortion matter here. But that doesn't matter. Even having him say those things and me not liking his political positions and the fact that he's a Democrat and that's generally not a party that I identify with, it doesn't matter. I still defend him and I don't want to see him resign over that. Period. Now, on to part two. I could say that because I'm ideologically consistent and not a hypocrite, at least in this case. The media and all the people that have done two things recently, going back to high school and other schools, it'll be interesting to see how they react. So, remember the media and all the Democrats that came out, one, with the Kavanaugh situation, because he had fart jokes and jokes that could have been interpreted as him getting hammered or possibly him sleeping around with women. That was enough to label him as a sex offender. They needed to go through every comment and joke on his Facebook page his yearbook page, and be able to have him clearly identify it, and it was made him suspicious that maybe he was someone who committed sexual assault, etc. I thought that was unbelievably dumb at the time. But what did I say? If you go back to my Kavanaugh videos, I said, okay, can't the Democrats see that this is the standard that's going to be applied to them? Remember, one of the things that happened back then was Cory Booker, who just announced that he's running for president, admitted in an article in college that he was with a girl that was passed out, who couldn't consent to sexual activity, and yet he groped her breast and felt terrible about it later. That is him sexually assaulting a passed out woman. He is admitting it. Brett Kavanaugh never admitted it, denied it. There was never any proof of it, yet he was tarred by the left, and Booker's statements were allowed to be going. I said, this is going to be the future. Are you sure you want this, Democrats? Are you sure you want a world where people are parsing out Twitter from 10 years ago, or your Facebook page, or your yearbook page from 30 years ago? Is that what you want? That's what our politics is going to be now? Just this gotcha game? And they were all for it. Kavanaugh's a monster. He's a sexual monster. Then even worse, we see the situation with the Covington kids. Just last week, I was saying, this is going to come back to bite people. Because not only after they knew that these kids were targeted and harassed for over an hour by black racists yelling the most racist, homophobic slurs at them that they could imagine, and then defended by a Native American activist who got in their face, who was defending these racist black people, screaming at them, saying they were telling these white kids harsh truths. After the media unfairly maligned these kids and still continues to this day to deflect for those black racists and the Native American that was defending them, after all of that, and they found out that these kids were getting doxxed and getting death threats, what did the media do? They proceeded to look up facts from this high school. People that had nothing to do with these kids. 5 years ago, one of them dressed up in all black for a blackout game, or several people dressed up in all black for a black. Well, that was it. That was proof that this school was terrible. That all these kids, see, the media was right to go after these kids. They go to a terrible school that 5 years ago had people dress up in blackface, even though that's not what it was. Well, media, now today it is actual blackface standing next to someone in a KKK outfit. Does it matter if it's Northam to you? It didn't matter that it wasn't these specific kids that were attacked by these black racists in the Covington story. You still thought it was a story worth pointing. You still thought you needed to smear that school and those kids, even after they were being doxxed and getting death threats for the crime of smirking when racists screamed at them. You still thought that was important. So where are you today? Now you're going to be calling for Northam to resign, a Democrat? Or is it okay because he's a Democrat? Even if they do call for Northam to resign, it'll be begrudgingly. This is why it was stupid to do this in the first place. I said it'll come back to bite you. Did I think it would be in a week's time? No, not really. But funny, isn't it? So now the precedent's been set. Guilty, right? That's what these people think. I don't think that. I'll still defend Northam and don't think he should resign over this. But these hypocrites that called him out, now, let's go. And I've seen people say on Twitter, yeah, he should resign, but let's not act like Kavanaugh's yearbook wasn't just as bad. What are you talking about? Show me Kavanaugh or someone in his yearbook dressed up in blackface or a KKK outfit. His yearbook was talking about drunken exploits and maybe hooking up with chicks. Yep, that's pretty much what yearbooks do. Here's a little secret that people might not want to talk about. Girls talk about hooking up with guys and getting drunk as well in yearbooks. In fact, it was widely reported the school that Christine Blasey Ford went to, her yearbook had all kinds of stories of girls' drunken escapades and stuff. Does that mean that should unfairly be used to malign Christine Blasey Ford? Of course not. But for some reason, it always works when it's someone conservative or Republican. Yeah. Go back, look at the yearbook, look at the old tweets, make them apologize for everything. But when we have someone on the left, now it's different because we know in their heart they're a good person. So it's just more hypocrisy. Let's see what comes of it. This is our new politics. What to do? I'm running for office. I guess time to go check my yearbooks, right? Unbelievable. This is the precedent that's been set by the left, by the Democratic Party, right? By your people running for president as Democrats, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker. It's her truth. We need to, please explain exactly what's in these yearbooks. By the media people, it said, we need to go back 5 years and look at basketball games from Covington Catholic and see if some other students, not involved in the incident today, but if some of them painted their body black for a blackout game. That's a huge story. It shows that how horrible and evil that school is. Is everyone that went to this medical school now going to be maligned? Are they all possible racists? Do they all deserve to be doxxed? Do they all deserve death threats? Will the media now start investigating this school? Will they start encouraging the doxing of everyone who went to that school? Is that what's going to happen now? And of course, I'm against all of that because I'm ideologically consistent. I don't care what Northam did when he was 21 years old in a college yearbook. I don't care at all. The only interesting part to me is to watch the hypocrites squirm. That's what I find interesting. Identity politics at its finest once more. So, it's worth watching. I'll link to an article with the picture here below, but I'll be putting more videos out daily. If you like this, please click the bell so you get alerts every time I put up a video. Like and subscribe and recommend me to some other people. All right, have a good one.